All right, let's get started. Did you make the grits again?
Of course.
Well, they're the best.
Well, thank God.
Yep.
Thank you.
I was telling them I'd show up just for the grits. I love them. All right.
We talked about not doing them one season. I was like, are you kidding? Well, Michael mad at me.
He may never show up again. Got me here for the grits. All right. Welcome to RU. And we are on lesson 4, principle 3. It is easier to keep the heart clean than it is to clean it after it has been defiled. We're going to be on page 3 today. The very heart of RU, it is an addictions program. Now you can come to RU for the discipleship part of it or any other reason you want to come. There's the discipleship program of RU. But the very heart, it is an addictions program. And in doing so, we're going to talk on page 3 here. How to stay clean and sober. Now this is assuming that you are clean and sober at the moment, okay? But how to stay clean and sober. Now, anybody know what we mean? And some of you would know. Have been through this. Anybody know what we mean by clean and sober? There's a difference between clean and sober. One of the first things I had to learn doing this program. Somebody says, oh, I've been clean for 3 years. I said, oh, great. They didn't say the word sober. Okay? Clean has to do with drugs. I haven't been doing drugs for 3 years. If you don't add the word sober, that means I'm still getting drunk. Okay? And so that's what it means. So clean and sober is our goal. So, how to stay clean and sober. Once you've reached it and you've got a little bit under your belt, I don't know, 3 weeks, 3 months, whatever, you're clean and sober. How do we stay that way? Well, number one, I'm going to go all the way down because I want to make sure I hit this one. All the way down to quit smoking cigarettes. Now, you're going to say, what does that have to do with drugs and alcohol? Maybe not so much about drugs, but alcohol, yes. I do not know why, because I've never been an alcoholic, and I don't know why, because I've never smoked cigarettes. But there is a correlation between alcohol and cigarette smoke, and smoking cigarettes. And those who struggle with quitting smoking, or those who struggle with alcohol, struggle with quit smoking. And we have a lot of people come to RU, they get clean, they get sober, but they won't stop smoking. And every one of them that does not work on their cigarette smoking end up drinking. Now, if you think about it, those of you in your family who continue to smoke and have tried to stop alcohol, have they ever stopped? And the answer is no. It's very rare. As long as you keep smoking, you're going to have a problem with alcohol. I don't know if it reminds you of drinking because of bars and all the smoke there in bars, or I don't know if it has something to do with the stimulation that smoking has to do with that and the addiction of that. I'm not sure why. And there's people smarter than me that can tell you that. But I know from common sense, if you want to stay sober, stop smoking. Okay? And yes, at first, when you first start in your recovery, just worry about alcohol and drugs. Don't get so much on your plate. But your next step after you've gotten clean and sober, stop smoking. Okay? So, it may seem like a trivial thing, but it's very important to stop alcohol. Right after that, number 2. Now this is to help you stay clean and sober. Write your bucket list, then do it. It gives you some direction in your life. One thing as an addict is we wander from here to there. As an addict, we tend to let life come to us, and we don't go to it. We tend to let happen what happens, and we live with the results of it. Instead of doing that, make your bucket list. I've always wanted to go to Hawaii. Okay? That could be on your bucket list. All right? Write that down. Once you've written it down, what are my goals? How am I going to get to Hawaii? Now, part of that consumes some time and consumes some effort that you could be using on your addiction. But instead, now, you're doing it something that's more profitable. It also gives you goals in life and direction. You know, one of the things that's on my bucket list, well, I have two. One, I've always wanted to preach in the Philippines. I've always wanted to go to the Philippines and preach. And so that's on my bucket list. And someday I'm going to get that done. Another one's I've always wanted to go to Israel. Now, twice I could have gone to Israel, and then I got scared. Because, you know, there's always bombings and people getting kidnapped, and I could just see myself. And those are still on my bucket list. And even I need to sit down and say, okay, this is on my list. How am I going to get this done? But make your list. What am I going to do? This is what I've always wanted to do. And am I going to reach it? Could be, I've always wanted to have a high school diploma. Even though you could be 52 years old. Go out and get your GED. Do it. Matter of fact, I encourage that. Go out and get your GED. And then you can say I'm a high school graduate. Okay? Whatever your bucket list is, write it down and then do it. Make goals, make plans. Get out there. It also makes life more enjoyable. Again, addicts, your life, especially when you're really out there, is not all that fun. It's really not. I mean, your addiction may have started out fun. It may have started out in parties and enjoyable. But when you're right smack in the middle of it, it's not fun. It's a miserable life. In this way, you're enjoying a little bit of life. Number 3 is right underneath that. Figure out your purpose. Figure out your life purpose. Say, I ain't got one. I'm a nobody. Baloney. If God put breath in your lungs, you have value. Amen. You have purpose. You have reason. God didn't create anybody just to sit here and exist. He has a plan and a purpose for everyone in this room. Now, we may have messed it up a little, or maybe a lot, but He still has a purpose for you. Find out what that is. Well, so how do I find that out? Well, there's a few steps you can take. 1, are you going to church? The answer is no. You've already crippled your ability to do what God's purpose for you in life is. Because His number 1 purpose for everyone is to go to church. Number 2, are you involved in church? That means, are you doing something in church? Are you active in your church? You know, besides just sitting there and singing the hymns and then going home. Who do you know in church? Who are you involved with in church? Are there activities in church that you're involved in? Do you have a ministry in your church? If the answer is no, you're already missing some of your purpose in your life, because God's purpose for every Christian is to be involved in their church. All right? Next question. What are your talents? God has a purpose for you. Remember that? And He promised to give us everything we need to fulfill our purpose. God has not given me the ability of numbers. So it would be a mistake for me to say, God wants me to be an accountant. Okay? That's a mistake. It would also be a mistake for me to say, God wants me to be an R&B singer. I cannot sing. Now, I like R&B, but I can't sing it. Well, I try. All right? I can't sing. But I have other talents. One of the weird talents that I have is I can talk to anyone at any time, any place, just about anything. God can use me for that. I need to find out where and when you find out your talents, you start fulfilling your purpose. And you say, well, where do I use it? Just start. And as you start and you start working, God says, this guy's using his talents here. And he starts directing you. And he brings people in. He brings in Reverend Calloway and says, hey, I can use you over here. Or your pastor sees that you're trying something over here and he says, hey, I could really use your talents over here. And then you start fulfilling your life. A life that's fulfilling. A life with purpose. A life with meaning. And all of a sudden, I don't need drugs and alcohol. I don't need those cigarettes. I don't need that sex to feel fulfilling. I'm getting fulfilling in my life's purpose because God gave me the talents. He's given me the abilities. But don't forget, get in church. Be involved in church. Okay? And then say, what are my talents and how am I using them outside of church or in church? And that's how you find your life's purpose. Finding the will of God for your life is easier than we make it to be. He puts it right smack in front of us. Again, some people are artists. God wants you to use that for Him. In His church, even maybe to make money, but that's fine. That's your life purpose. Another one too, what makes you get excited? What gives you passion? If it's music, passion is music is your passion, that's probably God-given. Use it the right way to glorify and honor God, but use it. And that's your purpose. All right? All right. This is to help you stay clean and sober, okay? Number 4, let's go all the way back to the top. I just wanted to make sure I had those 3. Talk to your family. Reconnect with your family and spend time with them. This will be your hardest chore, your most difficult chore, because we stole from them, we lied to them. You know, an addict would go into his mama's house and see her walk away and steal $5 out of her purse, or from her grandma's purse, or walk into their room and take their jewelry box and go hawk it. And they know you did that. So trust is a difficult thing, but it's very important that you try to reconnect. Talk to your family and try to reconnect. Now, it might take a while. You've got to earn some trust. And people who try this, it works. I have a few people that are just now, their kids are talking to them, get to see their grandkids. They haven't seen their grandkids ever. All of a sudden now they get to. They get invited to come to their kids' home. Ex-wife is not happy with them, and you can't reconnect there, but you can reconnect with your kids. Sisters now let you in the home.